My name is Karen.
What? Hey guys, it is MessYourself here. Today we are checking out some horror animations. We just made another video on some horror animations and that video was pretty funny. So shout out to Wanzi again. There's so many animations that I haven't even seen of his yet. Ooh, true creepy stalker. It's about a stalker.
When I was around 14 years old, I always went on the internet. And I had this app called Discord.
Oh my god, I have Discord too. Add me on Discord. When I was about 14 years old.
When I was around 14 years old, I always went on the internet. And I had this app called Discord. After a while of having Discord, I met a boy named Luke.
No.
We started talking for a while. And one day, he asked me what I looked like. Without thinking, I sent him a picture of me.
No, don't do that.
He told me that I was beautiful and that he loved my long dark hair and how I did my eyeliner.
He loved how I did my eyeliner. The trick is to keep your hand steady.
How I did my eyeliner.
He loved my eyeliner.
I just said thanks, thinking nothing of it.
All right, good. Take it slow.
Around a week later, he told me that he loved me.
He loved you after a week? Come on, some of these little pervs on Discord. I can't believe a girl is talking to me for the first time. I love you. Ugh. We get it, sad, lonely boys. The only love you ever had from a woman was probably from your mum. And even then, she didn't do a good job because, you're right, if you're saying I love you after a week, okay, you need to go talk to some more girls more.
Around a week later, he told me that he loved me. And I felt the same way about him.
What the? No, okay, come on, all right. Maybe you just like the feeling that you have right now. You're trying to tell me some 14-year-old Discord girl knows what love is? Shut up.
He told me that he loved me.
Told me that he loved me.
And I felt the same way about him. I felt the
same way.
We had so much in common.
So much in common.
Luke was very good looking too.
Have you met him?
He had a different style from normal people.
You've never met him?
He wore a mask.
He wore a mask?
Always wore the color black.
Ugh.
A while later, I realized it started becoming too much for me.
He
would always ask me personal questions like where I lived.
Where you lived?
I told him I lived in California.
I live in California.
He also lived in California and said he wanted to run away and meet me. He said that our relationship was going to get real. We kept talking every day and he got so overprotective and would text me every few minutes.
Every few minutes.
One day, I was home alone because my parents were on a trip to celebrate their 20th anniversary.
Oh my god, they're going away.
I didn't mind until it became nighttime.
Nighttime?
It was so dark outside, and it gave me the chills.
It was so dark outside, it gave me the chills. What the hell does that even mean? I've never seen darkness before.
Until it became nighttime. It was so dark outside.
Go bye-bye. Scary.
Chills. I decided to close all the windows.
Close all windows.
Sure that the doors
Shut
were locked.
doors.
I sat in my living room and watched some TV.
But then
after around 20 minutes, I heard a knocking sound coming from the window behind me.
Don't answer the door.
I realized I didn't pull the blinds over it and that some kids were probably playing tricks on me.
Those damn kids
got up
playing
and
tricks
went to the
on
window.
me.
As I got closer, my heart kept beating faster and faster. I looked out the window and no one was there. So I just closed it with the blinds and sat back down.
Thank goodness.
After that, I got a message from Luke.
From Discord?
He said, let's meet up now.
Let's meet up now?
I told him I was busy and that I couldn't.
I'm busy.
But he said that I wasn't. And that he could see me.
How did you know that?
I felt so afraid and told him to stop scaring me because I was home alone.
Yeah.
Which I really shouldn't have told him.
Oh no!
I asked him how he knew where I lived, and he told me that he looked on Snapchat and found my exact location so he could meet up with me whenever he wanted.
Take it easy, girl. I didn't do anything weird. I just went on your Snapchat, tracked your location, found your address, looked it up on directions on Google Maps, and now I'm outside your front door. That's not weird.
Asked him how he knew where I lived, and he told me that he looked on Snapchat and found my exact location so he could meet up with me whenever he wanted.
You know, something weird about that.
I was so afraid.
I'm so afraid.
I heard a knock on the door, and a teen boy's voice tell me to open the door.
No, don't open the door.
It sounded so attractive, and I knew that it had to be Luke.
of all the things you're thinking about. Oh my God, there's a murderer next door. But something about this knocking seems kind of attractive. I don't know. Are you guys hearing this like right now? She heard a teen
boy's voice tell me to open the door. It sounded so attractive, I knew that it had to be Luke.
And I knew it
I stayed still and didn't know what to do.
Uh-oh, don't open it.
I was home alone, and no one could defend me when I'm alone.
No.
I texted him and told him to leave me alone now. Luke knocked again and said he wasn't going to leave.
No.
I finally got up and opened the door. There he was, standing there, ever so tall. He smiled and bit his lip and invited himself in.
How can you tell he bit his lip? He's wearing a mask. How can you tell he's smiling as well?
He smiled and bit his lip and invited himself in.
And I'm bitting my lip.
I told him several times to leave, but he didn't listen. Then he went quiet. And I tapped his back. He ripped his mask off to reveal all the scars he had around his lips. I froze in shock and told him to please leave now.
Get out of there.
He was so angry, I didn't even care.
Whoa.
Then he smiled creepily and ran downstairs to the kitchen, and I ran after him.
What the hell?
He was holding a knife and then ran after me.
After me? Can you believe that? He ran after me.
He was holding a knife and then ran after me.
Ran after me?
I ran outside, hid in the bushes, and called 911 as fast as I could.
Right now.
The police arrived quickly. They found him. But what was even more creepy was that he smirked at me when they took him into their car. I called my parents shortly after and told them everything, and they came home.
Good.
I never want to stay home alone again.
Damn.
It creeps me out.
It creeps me out.
I deleted Discord and blocked him before I did.
Good.
Having an internet boyfriend will haunt me forever. And I will never forget the creepy smirk he gave me.
Oh my God. Oh my God, he was just a cute boy on Discord. It was so innocent. But then he came to my house, and then he didn't really do anything except chase me with a knife. Okay, so my teacher got fired, and now she's trying to kill us. That escalated pretty quickly. The teacher got fired, and now she's trying to kill us? Why?
My name is Karen.
My name is Karen.
My name is Karen.
What? Okay, sorry about that.
My name is Karen. And this happened when I was 14 years old.
14.
I had the best teacher ever, who was also really kind. She let us do whatever we wanted and didn't care about us at all.
She didn't care about us at all. She was the best teacher because she didn't care at all.
And didn't care about us at all.
She didn't care about us at all.
I know that it wasn't appropriate for her students. However, because we were young kids, everyone liked her except for one person.
There's always one.
He was what we called a nerd.
He's a nerd.
He was smart, but he was a big snitch and really annoying.
He was annoying.
He always said we all needed to study and not goof around, but everyone ignored him. We heard that our teacher had been fired. There were rumors going around about her. One was that she was fired because the nerd had snitched on her and told his parents.
For doing what?
They all complained to the principal. Soon the nerd was bullied a lot because of it. And he finally ended up leaving the school and moving to another one.
What the hell? This story's moving way too fast. So the nerd didn't like his teacher, so he got her fired, but for doing what? And then he ended up getting bullied, and now he's leaving school.
Finally ended up leaving the school and moving to another one.
He's moving to another school.
When he packed his stuff and left the classroom on his last day, I saw him crying and staring at us with a bruised eye.
Bruised eye?
It gave me goosebumps.
It gave me goosebumps.
About 2 years later,
2 years
on
later.
a rainy day, we had to stay inside the classroom. We were just talking, playing, and doing other stuff as usual.
Okay.
When the class was about to start, our teacher told us all to use the bathroom beforehand.
Good idea.
So while some of us were walking to the bathroom, we saw that the teacher who had been fired walked into the school.
The fired teacher?
She was calm. As we walked past her, she suddenly looked at us, stopped us, and said, Wait. I know you.
I know you.
You guys were in my class, right?
You were in my class, right?
She was smiling at us, but somehow she looked very tired.
What the hell?
And I felt a bit weird.
What?
We replied, Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
At that very moment,
what did she do to get
saw
fired?
A gang of boys following her.
A gang of
and
boys?
I could see that they were holding knives with some blood on it.
Oh no.
We then started screaming,
Run!
but all the classrooms were far away from the bathroom, so nobody could hear our desperate screams.
Whoa.
Then we turned around and told the teacher and the gang to please go away and spare us.
Please go away.
Our teacher glared at us for a while and slowly started smiling. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
You are next.
We're next?
As soon as she told us this, someone abruptly pulled out a knife and they all started grabbing us.
What the
The
hell?
next thing I knew, we were dragged onto some kind of big van.
What? They're getting
My
kidnapped?
friends and I were crying and terrified.
What the hell?
I knew something bad was going to happen.
Oh no, what's gonna happen?
However, at that moment,
Oh.
when they pulled us into a van,
the
we
police!
suddenly heard a loud siren.
Yeah, the police!
Fortunately, one of the teachers saw when they entered the school and stabbed some of the students.
What?
He immediately
They did what?
called the police.
What?
After they were arrested, all the students had to go home early and the school closed for a week.
Whoa.
It turned out that the gang was hired by former surgeons
What?
who were fired for removing people's organs and killing them.
What? Wait, what? The gang was hired by former surgeons who were also fired because they were removing organs from people.
It turned out that the gang was hired by former surgeons who were fired for removing people's organs and killing them.
But
furthermore,
what did they have
our
to do with it?
psychopath teacher had been working with them.
What?
And she was a murderer
What?
who would have murdered parents and their kids.
What the hell?
A few-
What? That's escalated so quickly. How does... I was trying to figure out what did this teacher do. How did you come up with that hypothesis?
A few months after, the whole gang was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
And 10 years?
She finally received a death sentence.
A death
However,
sentence?
that was not all.
What?
To our surprise, the police also found out that the nerd had been helping the teacher with murder for a long time.
What?
I don't know why he did that.
I don't know why he did that either. What the hell? I'm so confused by this story. I have no idea who's the true villain. And I don't even know what's going on. I didn't see anyone get murdered this whole
However,
video.
That was not
so are you trying to tell me the nerd and the teacher were working together?
And
then he must have
had been
snitched?
helping the teacher with murder
The nerd
for a long
was helping
time.
the teacher with murder.
I don't know why he did that.
I don't know why
But
he did that.
anyway,
But
he will be
anyway.
charged with helping her with murder when he turns 18.
What? What do you mean? I'm so confused. What the hell? Why did the nerd get the teacher fired if they were working together? That story just feels like, you know, you're writing your own horror story and then you just get carried away at the end. All right, last animation. If she asks you this question, always answer no.
What a pleasant way to begin my 3 a.m. shift at Mercy Hospital. The first thing I did as I sat down was cut my finger. It was a paper cut. And despite working at one of the largest hospitals in the state, I couldn't find a single band-aid laying around. I sucked on my index finger like a vampire while I scrambled my desk for that band-aid. I found one. Purple. I'm a hospital receptionist, and all that means is I greet visitors, make appointments, and look nice.
Okay.
Well, as nice as a 30-year-old man who hasn't slept in hours can look. That night, as we call it, it was just me and a few nurses on the floor. Other than that, it was ghost quiet, except for the heavy rain.
Heavy rain. Oh, anytime anyone says the words heavy rain together like that, oh yeah.
Jason!
Except for the heavy rain. I sat back on the cheap recliner chair all receptionists get the honour of using. While adjusting my band-aid, I listened to the television mounted on the corner of the ceiling as it broadcasted a seemingly important message.
Authorities say the woman was last seen on Cedar Avenue.
I looked up to see if the television was showing any images of this strange woman. None. It was yet another crazy person with no name and no face who we were supposed to look out for. Not creepy at all.
Authorities also say the woman was reportedly walking around and asking people very, very bizarre questions.
Oh.
I focused back on my desk and
wow,
continued
okay. Why is it that when there's always a crazy person on the loose, it's instantly on the news?
Asking people very, very bizarre questions.
I focused back on my desk
say
and
she's
continued
asking
working,
very quick
but
questions.
I still listened as the news anchor went on and on.
Yeah.
She continued.
What's going
The
on?
following statement was issued by an unidentified government official.
What?
Listen carefully, folks. Whatever she asks you, answer no. Do not, under any circumstances, answer yes.
Officials won't comment further as to why, citing security clearance. Police are asking that you immediately call 911 if you deem anyone suspicious.
I thought that part of the coverage was quite odd, but I wasn't sure anything could scare me anymore.
It is a bit odd, you know? A government official coming on the news. Yeah, government official here. Not trying to alarm anyone, but just make sure you say no if you talk to this woman. What happens if we don't? Listen to me. I'm a government official. I know more than you. Just don't. You don't want to know the answer to that. Just say no.
I thought that part of the coverage was quite odd,
It's a bit
but I
odd.
wasn't sure anything could scare me anymore.
Just a bit
Working here at the hospital, I thought I'd seen it all.
Oh.
At the flash of the ruby red ambulance lights, I've seen people come in with severed arms, legs, fingers, people who somehow managed to scoop out their eyes, failed suicide attempts, and much, much more.
Whoa.
You get used to it. My head was practically sunk into my desk as I filled out paperwork. That's when I heard something very subtle initially. I heard it coming from the front doors, the entrance. The automatic doors opened and closed.
Whoa,
opened and
that's
closed,
creepy.
slamming against each other and sounding an obnoxiously loud thud each time.
Oh.
The very dim lighting I had surrounding my desk flickered incessantly. Hello?
Hello?
I called out, seated behind the safety of my desk.
Anyone
Only
here?
the whistling wind responded.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Hello?
I called out
Anyone
again.
here?
I felt obligated to check if someone was there,
Do it.
especially since it might have been someone who was injured and needed our attention. I reluctantly picked myself up from my chair and walked over to inspect. I nearly slipped and cracked my head open as the entrance floor was almost flooded from the rain.
Whoa.
I noticed footsteps, wet shoe marks that seemed to come inside the hospital and then back out. I stood near the doors, poking my head outside, and looked. All I heard was the distant sounds of sirens and honking cars.
Whoa.
The rain poured harder. The peace and quiet was disturbed within moments of me sitting back down. The automatic door started again, opening and closing, slamming shut, and letting in more rain as they did.
More
But this
rain.
time, I heard gentle footsteps make their
I
way
saw
towards
someone.
me, tapping closer and closer. Someone slowly emerged from the darkness between the entrance and front desk. A woman with drenched black hair approached, wearing a dark brown raincoat and a pair of boots that were too large for her toothpick legs. Her face was inundated with wrinkles and wet makeup. Her black eyeshadow smudged.
Holy
Despite
crap.
the heavy rain outside, she didn't seem to have bothered wearing her hoodie. Hello.
Hello.
How can I help you, ma'am? She didn't respond. She looked around, scanning and observing an unimpressive hospital.
What's going on?
Is there something I can help you with? Still nothing. We engaged in a brief stare down, which she won. I looked down and pretended to gather important paperwork. Are you here to visit someone? Then finally, she responded without talking. She simply nodded and then took a few steps forward, her hands hanging down her side. Her posture was unnatural, almost uncomfortable. Okay, for now I need you to sign here,
I need you
then
to sign
I have to
here
wait
for
a few
me.
hours for visiting time to begin, I said, pushing forward a sheet of paper and a pen. She raised her arm to sign and then abruptly stopped. She seemed startled by something on the desk. She looked at me, tilted her head and, with a smile that was as wide as her eyes, said, "Would you please move that for me?" I
Would
was
you please
confused at
move
first,
that?
And then she pointed at it with her
Oh,
index
it's a
finger,
cross!
as drops of rainwater tapped against my desk while her arm hovered over it.
Whoa.
I took the little crucifix we had at the front desk and put it in a drawer.
Why have you
The
got a
woman
crucifix
proceeded
there?
as if she was going to finally sign the paper and then stop before writing anything. She dropped the pen on the ground and stood there again, staring at me.
What's she doing?
She asked me a question.
Do you reject the Trinity?
I'm sorry, I replied. For a few more
I'm sorry.
uncomfortable moments,
Do you reject the Trinity? What the hell are you talking about?
Do you reject the Trinity?
Do you reject the
I'm
Trinity?
sorry,
You
I
need to
replied.
always say
For a few
no.
more uncomfortable moments, the woman stood there like an ancient statue.
Remember the
I
news.
had no idea what she meant by the question. Ma'am, who exactly are you here to see?
Ma'am, who are you here to
Family?
see?
Friend? What's your relationship with the patient? Before I could finish talking midway through my question, the woman turned around and walked out
She's
the door,
walking away.
still smiling and her eyes as wide as I'd ever seen on a
Whoa.
person. I went back to work and tried to move on.
Okay, if she's walking away, how do you know that her eyes are really wide? She
Before
literally
I could
has
finish
her back
talking
to you.
midway through my question, the woman turned around and walked out the door,
She's
still smiling and her eyes as wide as I'd ever seen on a person. I went back to work and tried to move on, but her creepy mannerisms were trapped in my mind throughout the night.
Yeah,
At around 4
creepy.
a.m. I spotted one of the children in our hospital walking down the hall. Nina, is that you?
Uh-oh,
I called
Nina.
out. All the kids in the hospital knew me. I was proudly considered one of the cooler employees. I let them break the rules. I brought them snacks upstairs and even told them scary stories, despite their predictable regret later on. The nurses would get angry with me every time I held one of my scary story nights. They always had a bunch of bed sheets to change the next morning. I only did these things for the kids when I wasn't busy. It was a quiet night, and this was one of those uneventful nights, which of course was a good thing. Anyway, it was very odd to see Nina awake at that time, walking down those shadowy halls. She was absolutely terrified of the dark.
Nina!
There she was.
What's
Nina,
wrong?
Is that you? I squinted my eyes as I walked towards her.
Sorry, Matt.
She began.
I don't want to be there anymore.
She dragged her blue blanket along with her,
Why
which
not?
was her way of gesturing to us that she wanted to move to another room. You have kids bothering you again? I asked. I took hold of her hand and began walking her back to the elevator.
Matt, please, don't make me go
Matt,
back up
please!
there. I don't like the new nurse.
The new nurse?
I stopped walking.
What?
I said, kneeling
What
to
new
Nina's
nurse?
level.
She keeps asking us the same question over and over. I said no so many times. I keep telling her no, but everyone else kept laughing with her and saying yes to her. Please, I don't want to go back up.
No.
Nina's words
They said
immediately
yes.
played flashbacks inside my tired, overworked mind. Something about a strange woman going around and asking even stranger questions.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't pay enough attention to that broadcast to notice the woman, but even if I had, I thought she had left the hospital. I ditched the elevator and ran up a flight of daunting stairs, stomping against each step with all the force I could muster. I probably woke up all those sleeping employees. I was so loud. I opened the door to the children's room and couldn't believe my eyes.
Whoa.
I checked each room, each one on each floor. I woke up my
What
co-worker
happened?
nurse and asked about the children. She couldn't find them either.
What?
We looked everywhere and put the hospital on lockdown.
They're gone?
We set off all possible alarms and
Oh,
other emergency
no.
procedures.
What
We
the
didn't
hell?
find them. All that was left behind were
What?
their clothes.
Their clothes? What? No! It just ends! It just ended like that. Come on. This story was so wellly written. It was almost professionally written that I couldn't even get a word in. But it was like, oh my God, they were missing. Blah, 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 blah. Turns out the crazy woman on the news actually wasn't a woman crazy on the news. She was a ghost. So how did you get on the news? I'm gonna end the video there, but be sure to check out my other horror animations reactions, because honestly, I think all of them have been pretty good. Either way though, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's try and hit 5,000 likes. If we do, I will make another video on this topic, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.